Well, hello, Ramrod. We're back at it again. Okay, we just got through the elections, and thanks for the vote. I really appreciate it, and I'll see if I can do the best job I can do to make at least that most people happy in here. And I was really taken back by a 72 to 16 vote. I was shocked, but I was very happy. And what that told me is there's a mandate in this park to attempt to control the government under one umbrella, where we work together, united, and we've got to, you know, make this better place to live. Because right now, you can cut the tension with a knife. What I don't understand, maybe you can help me, with a vote of 72 to 16, all the e-board was there. They saw the vote, they saw what you do, and they know what I stood for, getting that e-board to be elected. They know this. I mean, I was up front with everybody there. Okay, knowing that, why won't they give you, the people, back your government? I just don't understand it. Maybe if you do, maybe you can explain it to me, but I don't understand it. Unless it's just flat out, they love the power and love bullying you, because that's what they've done in my eyes. And that's why I want to change this. You can help a lot, I think, a couple ways. One is this, and as I said when I was running, I'm going to need help. I can't do this by myself. So the first thing I'd request is get on the phone and call these e-board members at home and tell them you don't have to be nasty, just tell them you want the park back. I think it's fair. I mean, they've got to hear from you, because based on what I heard the other night from the snide remarks from some of them about me, they're not going to listen to me, okay? They hate me with a passion. And because I'm trying to do something for you. Okay, so for us to move on, or us to accomplish anything, we've got to do something about this government, just like I said in the speech. And I made some comments about ideas of what we could do. And that thing about the stock market, I didn't make that up. That's already been done by a senior park, by women back in the 70s and 80s. And it was very successful. I researched it. So I went and looked at it and said, hey, that's something different. So I heard some e-board members going, oh, it'll never work. It'll never. They don't know. They didn't research it. They based it on hate for me and not giving up power. So would we do it? I don't know. If we get back in control, I don't make the decisions, you do. But I would put that on the table and say, hey, do we want to give it a shot? See if we can make us some money. See if we can get volunteers back out there, because it was a good idea, I thought, or I wouldn't have brought it up. Okay, next subject. To let you guys know, I sent a lot of emails back this is March 12th, about 10 days ago, 10 days ago. I wanted some answers to give to you about what's going on in here. And without yelling and screaming, I reached out, and this is what I did. I sent, my first one was about, well, not first one, but one of them was about the e-board bylaws. What I said to the office, Lorena, what is the status of the HOA request to get the bylaws of the e-board? Just to let you know that Nancy Garrison asked the HOA for a copy of our bylaws. I don't remember sending her the request. Are the e-board members sharing our confidential request? It's very unprofessional. And that's what happened. I got a thing the day after this about where's our bylaws, when I sent this to the e-board. She's not on the e-board. So that tells you a lot what's going on there. And the second one, they did respond back to me saying that based on talking to their attorneys, which is our attorneys, They don't have to give it to me or you or anybody. Okay. The next one. It was at March 4th, 11/19. I sent a letter in asking the status of Sean States. The young kid, his mother died. He's got a place in here. He's trying to sell it, and he's going to move to Ohio. Here's my letter. As the HOA president, I'm requesting that Sean States be allowed to stay in his own residence until he sells it. I have personally talked to his relatives, and they have made it clear they are moving him back to Ohio as soon as the unit sells. He has done a lot of good for this park during his stay, taking care of his mother. His mother was also an excellent Ramrod resident for years. She volunteered and attended most functions. As seniors, can we show some compassion for this person? Okay, he owns the place in here, and this is what I'm hearing, even though they did not respond back to this. I heard that since this is the way they're treating him, since he doesn't have a rental agreement, he can't stay in his own place that he owns. So he has to go live in other people's places in here. As my last thing says, as seniors, can we show some compassion for this person? They don't. Not at all. Now, maybe that doesn't bother you as much as it really bothers me. I mean, the kid is a good guy. He's helped a lot around. He helped them a lot around here. And they just have to show that they run the show and they got the power. That's why I need you to start calling them. We need you to ask them, why won't they give us the park? We don't need to treat people like this. Okay, the next one the email I shot out was about Space 2. Space 2 is basically vacated. It's owned by Ken LeBron, former CEO on the E-Board. He was let go from the E-Board. He doesn't live here. And then they called him to get back on the E-Board. So they had his vote. So he lives in Space 2 and he doesn't live there. And as we all know, we have a rule, 1E in the book, that says if you don't live there, you got to get rid of the place in 6 months or tow it. And that's the way it works. So here's my email to them. I was approached by a couple residents the last few weeks about Space 2. They asked me why that space, which is vacated, doesn't fall under the Ramrod rules on either being sold or towed out. They know that the resident, Ken LeBron, who is on the E-Board, owns the unit. After receiving those verbal complaints, I researched this for a couple weeks. I interviewed next-door neighbors. They all stated that nobody lives or stays there. They see him changing out vehicles every once in a while. Since I walk multiple times a day, I have witnessed that this space is vacant. I walk by early in the morning, evening, and late at night, and never seen a person or a light on in the unit. If this is true, are there different rules for the E-Board members? Looking forward to your explanation. Okay, that was on March 4th. I have received nothing to report to you. Do you see what they're doing again? Different rules for different people. So that's unbelievable. So I got to point these things out to you, why I get frustrated. Oh, my next one was on March 4th again. Could I please have a time and date of the next executive board meeting? I would like to attend. They sent me back a reply that I would have to, let me see. I'll just give it to you what it was. They said I had to fill out a form and send it back to them on what I'm going to say. And wasn't going to say anything. I was going there just to observe and report back to you. And they came back and said, no, I'm not invited. Okay, so here I was, the acting interim president, and I can't even get in to see what's going on at your park. Do you see why I want you to call them? This is crazy, people. This is not normal. This is something that I think they're doing this just to throw power on you, because they can't hurt me. So they think it does. They're out of their mind. But look, they send me formal letters back about saying no about things I want. And then let's see if I got anything else for you. Oh, they sent out that a flyer the other day, and it was on the 55 and over. They give you partial truths in that, and I'll tell you why. After I saw that, I called a former board member, Nancy Birch, who was on the board during this time when we lost our status, going from 55 to 60. She told me, I'll paraphrase most of it, here's what I did, Danny. Being on the board, I went and talked to Steve Simon. He gave me 3 reasons why we had to do this and go to 60. I went and talked to Ann Williams, who was the CFO at the time. She gave me 3 reasons why. And then there was one other, can't think of who it was, she went and talked to, and Ken LeBron. He gave her 3 separate ones. So all 3 had different stories. So she called them out and said, somebody's lying because you don't even have the same stories on why this happened. And shortly thereafter, Ann Williams asked her for her resignation. Now, Nancy will back this up 100% because she knows she gave me permission to talk about this. And if anybody wanted to hear it from her, she'll tell you the truth. She has nothing to hide. She helped so many people in here, and she did the best she could with what she had to work with. But these are the things, and the pet thing was with it too. Okay, so for you new people, in 2017, we had, all the way up to 2017, we were allowed 2 pets, certain height, weight, and all that stuff. We know that. Okay. In 2017, now that was an HOA thing. Now, 2017, all of a sudden, Ken LeBron brought it under his rule. Now, Nancy and I talked about this too. And Ann Williams did not like dogs at all, or pets in the park. Ken LeBron didn't either. Okay? Allegedly, neither one of them liked it. So, them not liking it, they voted and talked the board into voting to 1 pet. And they said that Gary Mendoza signed that. I don't know what they're even talking about, Gary Mendoza. It makes no difference what Gary Mendoza signed as HOA president back then. It made no difference at all. And the reason I say that, 25 people went over to the activity center for a meeting they were having about this pet thing. And Ken LeBron let 1 in to speak about it. 25 pet enthusiasts wanted the rule changed back. And 6 people or 5 made the decision, nope, we like it the way it is. So even if the HOA did it then, I was told the rule is in 6 months, the e-board could say, no, you can't. And that's the rule. You see why I want this park back? I don't care. I don't have any pets. But if it's 1 or 2, you should decide. Not people sitting at home that don't like pets. This is why I get upset. This is why, and I know a few people didn't vote for me because I get upset. That's the way it goes. I've been in this mess since day 1 when they started making it a mess. I'm going to reach out for some help in here. I'm going to reach out to whoever I can reach out. If I can get one of these videos to go viral, my goodness, I would just love it. I would let anybody be the president. If we got this park back, I'd get out of the way if you wanted me to in a minute. But I'm just going to work on this until there's nowhere else to go. So on that's what I want to talk to you about today. And I'll keep you updated, as transparent as I can be. I have some ideas, but I got to keep them to myself because the e-board watches all these videos and they call each other and tell me how bad I am and all that. So I will get back with you pretty soon. I got another one going to come out because this is crazy. I should be talking about the positives in the park and what's going on. But one more thing. You saw Dale Estvander the other night. I don't know if you heard it because there was a lot of chatter going on over it during the voting. Okay, he brought out some plaques to give out, and he stated, these used to be given out by the e-board to certain people, but they haven't been given out at all lately because of the e-board and who's on it. They don't like anybody. And that was pretty obvious when his words had meaning the other night. If you didn't hear it, that's basically what he said. They don't do anything for anybody. And one other thing, good thing. Thank all the people on the election committee. Great job, man. You guys were awesome. I also got to thank all the people that sat me down at the welcome committee at the table and said they were going to have my back and we're going to do everything to get me elected. You guys were great. And you did what you said you're going to do. So I'm going to try to do what I said I'm going to do. So on that note, have a great day and I'll talk at you later.